They drove her into the forest with torches burning and voices snarling her name. Half-blood. Abomination. Curseborn. Seren didn't look back. If she did, she'd break. Her wolf, small, trembling, never fully awakened, pressed against her ribs in panic as she ran barefoot over roots and frost. She tasted blood on her tongue. Smoke in her lungs. Betrayal in her bones. She had given everything to the pack that raised her. Loved them. Served them. Believed them. Until tonight, when her wolf finally stirred under the approaching red moon, revealing what she truly was. Not an omega. Not a healer's apprentice. Not a mistake. Something older. Something feared. Something they didn't understand. The sky cracked open as the red moon rose, staining the world with crimson light. Seren collapsed near the riverbank, chest heaving. And then, she felt it. A presence. Massive. Ancient. Alpha-born with power that pressed against her skin like heated stone. A tall figure emerged from the shadows, silver eyes glowing through the red-tinted darkness. Kneel, he growled, not with cruelty, but with instinct. Command. Recognition. Seren's breath hitched. Her wolf, weak only moments ago, suddenly bowed from within, trembling in fierce submission. The stranger inhaled sharply. You're sent, he whispered. Goddess, you're mine. Seren froze. No, she whispered. You don't understand. My own pack cast me out. My blood is cursed. The Alpha stepped closer, towering, terrifying, devastatingly certain. Cursed, he murmured, lifting her chin. Little wolf, you are not cursed. His power wrapped around her like a storm claiming lightning. You, he said, voice low as thunder, are chosen. Under the red moon, the bond snapped into place, dangerous, undeniable. And nothing in either of their worlds would ever be the same. Wait, don't move. What happens next will decide her destiny and his entire kingdom. If you're here for the forbidden mate bond, the cast-out Omega rising, and the Alpha who would burn the world for her, stay. You don't want to miss what comes next. The red moon was a myth, spoken only during winter feasts and whispered when pups misbehaved. They said it awakened bloodlines long forgotten. They said it chose wolves destined for greatness. They said its light could reveal truths packs spent generations burying. Seren Hale never believed the stories. She had no reason to. She was the quiet girl who healed cuts and gathered herbs and apologized for breathing too loudly. Her wolf had never shifted. Her magic had never stirred. Her presence had never mattered. Until the red moon rose, unexpected, early, burning the sky in a violent red blaze. And Seren's wolf opened its eyes for the first time. Her pack saw. Her Alpha noticed. And instead of protecting her, they dragged her from her home. Tore her mother's necklace from her neck. Shoved her into the cold forest. Run, the Alpha snarled. Before the curse spreads. Seren didn't understand what she'd done wrong. But the red moon did. It pulsed with ancient awareness, guiding her away from the only home she had ever known. And toward the one wolf fate had carved for her long before she was born. The one wolf her pack feared more than death. The one wolf destined to unravel everything she thought she knew. The Alpha of Blood Ridge. The wolf who bowed to no one. The wolf touched by prophecy. The wolf whose claim would either save her, or destroy her. The forest swallowed Seren whole. She stumbled through the undergrowth, branches clawing at her skin as if the trees themselves wanted to keep her moving. Her breath steamed in the cold night air, each exhale trembling with pain she didn't have time to feel. Behind her, the torches faded. The shouts died. But the memory of them, sharp, vicious, final, echoed in her skull. Half-blood. Wolf Witch. She carries the red moon curse. Seren pressed a hand to her chest, where her wolf, newborn and fragile, quivered in fear. I'm sorry, she whispered to it internally. I didn't know this would happen. I didn't ask for this. Her wolf whimpered softly, curling around her heart. She didn't know why her wolf had awakened now. She didn't know why the sky had turned red. She didn't know what she'd become. All she knew was the moment her eyes glowed under the crimson moonlight, her pack recoiled like she was a monster. One moment she was Seren Hale, the useless Omega healer's apprentice. The next, she was a threat. Not because she was dangerous, but because she was different. She stopped only when her legs refused to continue. Kneeling near the riverbank, she dipped her trembling hands into the freezing water, scrubbing away tears she'd never dared shed in front of others. Her reflection shimmered on the surface. Her eyes, ordinarily soft hazel, now carried glints of molten red, like embers buried beneath ash. Seren gasped and flinched back. No, she whispered. No, no, no. Her wolf stirred, voice faint but firm. It's the moon. It's awakening us. I don't want this, Seren choked. I just want to go home. Home rejected us, her wolf reminded gently. That truth carved a deeper wound than the cold ever could. A sudden crack of branches snapped her head up. Instinct, raw, primal, unfamiliar, surged through her veins. She stood quickly, heart thudding, pulse echoing in her ears. Eyes scanned the forest. Silence. Then, a presence washed over her like a tidal wave. Power. Dominance. Ancient, crushing alpha power. It hit her so hard she staggered. What is that? Seren whispered. Her wolf dropped her tail and bowed internally. Submissive. Amazed. Frightened. Alpha, her wolf breathed. But not from our pack, stronger. Seren stepped back, chest tightening. A figure emerged between the trees. Tall. Broad. Cloaked in shadows and moonlight. Silver eyes glowed beneath the hood, eyes too sharp to belong to anything human. Seren's pulse spiked painfully. The stranger stopped several feet away, but his presence pressed against her skin like a storm front. He inhaled once, slow, deep, disbelieving. His head snapped up fully, eyes piercing her like arrows. Your scent, he said, voice dark thunder. Goddess above. He stepped forward. Seren stepped back. Don't come closer. He didn't listen. Not out of cruelty, but something more terrifying. Instinct. He closed the distance in 2 strides. Seren's wolf collapsed inside her, rolling over in complete submission. She couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't look away. The stranger towered over her. You, he whispered, voice roughened as if dragged over gravel. I've been searching for you. Seren shook her head. You're mistaken. I'm no one. A humorless smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. Little wolf, there is nothing no one about you. His hand lifted, slow, deliberate, hovering near her cheek. Not touching. Just near enough for her skin to feel the heat of him. Seren trembled. I can't, she whispered. Please. I can't be whatever you think I am. His eyes softened, though his aura remained enormous, swallowing hers effortlessly. You don't feel it? He asked quietly. The pull between us. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She did. She felt it like a current pulling her toward him, like his presence filled a hollow place inside her she never realized was empty. I don't know what it is, she admitted. The alpha inhaled deeply again, eyes darkening. It's the bond. Seren froze. No, she whispered. No, that's impossible. My pack says I'm cursed. He stepped closer. They lied. His voice dropped to a low growl, filled with certainty and old, burning fury. You're not cursed. You're Red Moon born. Seren blinked. Red Moon, what? He tilted her chin up gently, forcing her gaze to meet his. Chosen by the goddess. Rare. Powerful. Hunted. And his lips brushed her ear as he finished. Fated to me. Seren's breath hitched sharply. Her wolf howled inside her, soft, longing, desperate for his touch. But Seren shook her head quickly. No. No, I can't, my pack will hunt me. They already hate me. I don't want to bring danger to anyone else. The alpha's expression hardened. Let them come. A chill ran down her spine. He stepped fully into the red moon's glow, revealing himself at last. Dark hair. Silver eyes that burned with ancient power. A scar slashing from brow to cheekbone. A presence that could command armies. He looked like the kind of wolf children whispered about in fear and admiration. Who are you? Seren breathed. He bowed his head slightly, only slightly. I am Kaelin Varin, he said. Alpha of Blood Ridge. Last of the Red Moon line. The wolf destined to awaken yours. Seren's knees weakened. Bloodridge was a name mothers warned their pups about. Fearless, merciless, untamed. A pack that bowed to no council, no elder, no kingdom. And this was their leader. The alpha the world feared. The alpha her pack would kill on sight. He studied her trembling form with devastating intensity. Seren Hail, he murmured, speaking her name as if tasting it, the world cast you out. Good. It means the world doesn't deserve you. Her lips parted. How do you know my name? His eyes glowed brighter, silver edged in red. Because, he said softly. I have dreamed it since I was a child. The red moon flared above them. And the bond, raw, dangerous, unbreakable, tightened. Seren tried to step back, to place any amount of space between herself and the alpha whose very presence overwhelmed the air. But Kaelin moved with her, slowly, deliberately, matching her retreat without touching her. Don't run, he murmured. Seren swallowed hard. I'm not, I just need to think. You don't need to think, he said softly. You need to breathe. Her wolf whimpered in agreement, desperate for the steadiness radiating from him. But Seren shook her head furiously. You don't understand, she whispered. My pack will come after me. They'll blame you. They'll try to kill you. Kaelin let out a low, amused growl. Let them try. Seren's eyes widened. You shouldn't say that. They're afraid of you, they think you're a monster. Good, he muttered. Then they'll hesitate before hurting what's mine. Her breath caught. Don't. Her voice cracked. Don't call me that. Little wolf, he said, stepping forward till her back brushed the trunk of an ancient pine, the bond is not something I invented. It's older than kingdoms. Older than the packs that threw you away. Seren shook her head again. You can't claim me. My wolf is barely awake. I'm not strong. I'm not anything. Kaelin bent slightly, bringing his face level with hers. Say that again, he whispered. Seren froze. Say you're nothing, he repeated, silver eyes burning. And watch what I do. Her lips parted, but no sound left her mouth. Because something in his voice, something fierce, protective, furious, wrapped around her like a shield. I won't let you lie about yourself, Kaelin said. Not when I can feel your power humming beneath your skin. Seren blinked. Power? I've never had power. Kaelin huffed a breath, almost a laugh. Your pack snuffed you out before you ever had a chance to breathe. They feared the wrong thing. He traced a finger through the air near her cheek, never touching, yet somehow brushing against her soul. They feared who you would become. Seren's chest tightened painfully. Why? Why would they fear me? Kaylin's jaw clenched. Because Red Moon wolves shake kingdoms, he said. Because your bloodline is older than theirs. Stronger. More sacred. Sacred. Her? The girl who was always last chosen. The girl whose wolf never shifted. The girl who was cast into the woods like trash. Seren laughed, broken, small. You're mistaken, she whispered. I'm no one. I'm nothing. Kaylin's expression darkened. Enough. She flinched. Kaylin stepped closer, voice dropping to a low, dangerous whisper. If you could see yourself the way I see you, he said, you would understand why the moon itself rose early to awaken you. Seren trembled. Why would the moon care about me? Kaylin reached out, slowly, until his hand hovered above her sternum. You have a heartbeat that answers to mine, he murmured. A scent that calls my wolf to kneel. A spirit that withstood exile and betrayal and still stands. His eyes softened. That is why. Seren's breath shook. She didn't know what frightened her more. The power in his voice. Or the truth in it. A howl broke through the night, distant but unmistakable. Seren stiffened. That's my pack. Kaylin's expression hardened instantly. Of course it is. Cowards always return once the moonlight dims. Fear clawed at her throat. We have to go. They'll kill me if they find me with you. Kaylin lifted his chin, posture straightening into something regal. Ancient. Alpha to the bone. No one will touch you, he said. Not while I'm here. Seren grabbed his arm, panic rising. You don't understand, they're terrified of Bloodridge. If they see you. It won't matter, he cut in. The moment they step foot into my territory, they bend to my law. Seren blinked. We're in your territory. A slow smile curved his lips. Little wolf, the moment you crossed the river, you stepped into Bloodridge land. Her stomach dropped. She'd always heard the stories. Bloodridge was wild, dangerous, home to the strongest wolves alive. No pack dared trespass. No alpha dared challenge them. And she had run straight into the heart of it. Does that frighten you? Kaylin asked gently. Seren hesitated. Yes, she whispered. A little. Kaylin stepped close enough that his warmth brushed her skin. Good. She blinked. He continued softly. Fear tells you that this is real. That it matters. That you are waking into a life carved for you, not forced onto you. The howl came again, closer. Seren's heartbeat spiked painfully. They're coming. Kaylin's aura surged outward, an invisible tidal wave that shook leaves from branches. Then let them come, he growled, and let them see who you belong to now. Seren shook her head. No, please, don't start a war for me. What war? He asked lightly. There is only one alpha here. They drove her into the forest with torches burning and voices snarling her name. Half-blood. Abomination. Curseborn. Seren didn't look back. If she did, she'd break. Her wolf, small, trembling, never fully awakened, pressed against her ribs in panic as she ran barefoot over roots and frost. She tasted blood on her tongue. Smoke in her lungs. Betrayal in her bones. She had given everything to the pack that raised her. Loved them. Served them. Believed them. Until tonight, when her wolf finally stirred under the approaching red moon, revealing what she truly was. Not an omega. Not a healer's apprentice. Not a mistake. Something older. Something feared. Something they didn't understand. The sky cracked open as the red moon rose, staining the world with crimson light. Seren collapsed near the riverbank, chest heaving. And then, she felt it. A presence. Massive. Ancient. Alpha-born with power that pressed against her skin like heated stone. A tall figure emerged from the shadows, silver eyes glowing through the red-tinted darkness. "Kneel," he growled, not with cruelty, but with instinct. Command. Recognition. Seren's breath hitched. Her wolf, weak only moments ago, suddenly bowed from within, trembling in fierce submission. The stranger inhaled sharply. "You're sent," he whispered. "Goddess, you're mine." Seren froze. "No," she whispered. "You don't understand. My own pack cast me out. My blood is cursed." The Alpha stepped closer, towering, terrifying, devastatingly certain. "Cursed," he murmured, lifting her chin. "Little wolf, you are not cursed." His power wrapped around her like a storm claiming lightning. "You," he said, voice low as thunder, "are chosen." Under the red moon, the bond snapped into place, dangerous, undeniable. And nothing in either of their worlds would ever be the same. Wait, don't move. What happens next will decide her destiny and his entire kingdom. If you're here for the forbidden mate bond, the cast-out Omega rising, and the Alpha who would burn the world for her, stay. You don't want to miss what comes next. The red moon was a myth, spoken only during winter feasts and whispered when pups misbehaved. They said it awakened bloodlines long forgotten. They said it chose wolves destined for greatness. They said its light could reveal truths packs spent generations burying. Seren Hale never believed the stories. She had no reason to. She was the quiet girl who healed cuts and gathered herbs and apologized for breathing too loudly. Her wolf had never shifted. Her magic had never stirred. Her presence had never mattered. Until the red moon rose, unexpected, early, burning the sky in a violent red blaze. And Seren's wolf opened its eyes for the first time. Her pack saw. Her Alpha noticed. And instead of protecting her, they dragged her from her home. Tore her mother's necklace from her neck. Shoved her into the cold forest. "Run," the Alpha snarled. "Before the curse spreads." Seren didn't understand what she'd done wrong. But the red moon did. It pulsed with ancient awareness, guiding her away from the only home she had ever known. And toward the one wolf fate had carved for her long before she was born. The one wolf her pack feared more than death. The one wolf destined to unravel everything she thought she knew. The Alpha of Blood Ridge. The wolf who bowed to no one. The wolf touched by prophecy. The wolf whose claim would either save her, or destroy her. The forest swallowed Seren whole. She stumbled through the undergrowth, branches clawing at her skin as if the trees themselves wanted to keep her moving. Her breath steamed in the cold night air, each exhale trembling with pain she didn't have time to feel. Behind her, the torches faded. The shouts died. But the memory of them, sharp, vicious, final, echoed in her skull. Half-blood. Wolf witch. She carries the red moon curse. Seren pressed a hand to her chest, where her wolf, newborn and fragile, quivered in fear. "I'm sorry," she whispered to it internally. "I didn't know this would happen. I didn't ask for this." Her wolf whimpered softly, curling around her heart. She didn't know why her wolf had awakened now. She didn't know why the sky had turned red. She didn't know what she'd become. All she knew was the moment her eyes glowed under the crimson moonlight, her pack recoiled like she was a monster. One moment she was Seren Hale, the useless Omega healer's apprentice. The next, she was a threat. Not because she was dangerous, but because she was different. She stopped only when her legs refused to continue. Kneeling near the riverbank, She dipped her trembling hands into the freezing water, scrubbing away tears she'd never dared shed in front of others. Her reflection shimmered on the surface. Her eyes, ordinarily soft hazel, now carried glints of molten red, like embers buried beneath ash. Seren gasped and flinched back. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." Her wolf stirred, voice faint but firm. "It's the moon. It's awakening us." The alpha stepped forward. Kaelin moved instantly to block him, but Seren touched his arm gently. "It's okay," she murmured. "Let me speak." Kaelin went still, not because he doubted her, but because he trusted her enough to obey her request. Her former alpha hissed, "Your mother hid your nature. She should have been executed for it. You were born under an omen." "She was born under a blessing," Kaelin interrupted. Seren's heart clenched. Her alpha sneered. "Is that what you think? Red moon wolves bring disaster. They destabilize packs. They attract violence. You are dangerous." Seren's wolf roared. Not out of anger. Out of awakening. Seren lifted her chin. "If I'm dangerous, then why am I still alive?" Silence. "Why didn't the red moon kill me?" she asked. The other wolves shifted. A few lowered their heads. Kaelin watched her with quiet, growing reverence. The alpha's voice wavered. "It's unpredictable." "No," Seren said. "You are." Her voice no longer trembled. She stepped closer, just one step. "You were afraid of what I could become. Not because I'm cursed, but because I might be stronger than you." The pack gasped softly. Kaelin smiled, a slow, devastating smile full of pride. Her former alpha snarled. "You dare speak to me this way? I raised you." Seren's heart twisted. "You raised me to believe I was nothing." Kaelin's aura surged protectively, but Seren kept going. "You made me hide my wolf. You made me kneel for scraps. You made me apologize for being alive. And when I finally awakened, you threw me into the forest to die." Her voice broke on the last word. Kaelin's jaw flexed, a silent promise of vengeance. Seren swallowed. "I begged you to tell me the truth. You refused." The alpha's eyes darted nervously. "We protected the pack." "No," Seren said. "You protected your position." Kaelin let out a low hum of approval. Seren didn't even realize she'd stepped closer to him until his aura brushed her skin like warm fur. Her alpha noticed. Rage twisted his face. "You think Blood Ridge will protect you? You think that alpha will claim a half-blood? You're delusional, girl." Seren flinched. But Kaelin was already in front of her. One moment he stood at her side. The next, he was between her and her alpha, hand at the other wolf's throat, lifting him off the ground as easily as picking up a discarded cloak. "You speak of her blood again," Kaelin growled, voice vibrating with lethal promise, "and I peel the skin from your bones." Wolves dropped to their knees from the force of his alpha aura. Even the trees seemed to bow. Kaelin," Seren breathed, unsure if she should fear him or touch him. At her voice, Kaelin lowered the other alpha, not gently, but enough for him to breathe. He turned to Seren. And the rage in his eyes softened instantly. "Little wolf," he murmured, brushing a thumb across her cheek, "you never have to stand alone again." Her breath stuttered. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to melt into the warmth of his voice. But her fear still clung to her ribs. "Kaelin," she whispered, "I don't want war." "Then there will be none," he said simply. As if it were that easy. Her former alpha wheezed, rising on shaky legs. She belongs to herself," Kaelin snapped. Seren froze. Kaelin continued, voice softer now. "And she will choose where she stands. So let her answer you fully." He looked at her. Not commanding. Not pushing. But waiting. Seren inhaled slowly. Her wolf rose tall inside her. And for the first time in her life, she felt strong. I choose myself, she said. The forest went silent. She turned to her former alpha. And I choose to leave your pack forever. Shock rippled through the wolves. Someone whispered, she chose him. Seren stepped closer to Kaelin, not touching him, but standing at his side with certainty instead of fear. Her alpha tried one last time. If you walk away now, you are nothing. You are no one. Kaelin let out a low, furious growl. But Seren shook her head. No, she whispered. For the first time. I am exactly who I'm meant to be. Her former alpha opened his mouth to retort. But the red moon pulsed violently overhead. Seren gasped as heat surged through her veins. Her wolf arching, stretching, awakening in a way it never had. Light flickered around her fingers. Power, her wolf whispered. Our power. Kaelin's eyes widened, not in fear. In awe. Seren, he breathed. Your shift, it's beginning. Her knees buckled, and Kaelin caught her instantly. The forest glowed gold-red around her as her bones vibrated with ancient magic. Her old pack staggered back in terror. Kaelin lifted her into his arms, voice soft but unshakable. You're safe, he whispered. I've got you. Let the moon take you. Let yourself rise. Seren clung to him as the first tremor of transformation rippled through her body. And under the burning red moon, the outcast began her ascent. Seren had seen wolves shift before. She had tended to injuries afterward, soothed muscle aches, and mended bones. But she had never felt a shift. Never felt her body hum like struck metal. Never felt her skin blaze with ancient heat. Never felt the moon reach down and pull at her very soul. Now, in Kaelin's arms, her first shift tore through her like a tidal wave of fire and moonlight. Kaelin, she gasped, fingers clawing into his cloak. I can't. You can, he murmured against her temple. Breathe, little wolf. Let it happen. Her old alpha and his pack stared, horrified. No, the alpha wheezed. Not this. Not a red moon shift. But Kaelin ignored him entirely, lowering Seren gently to the forest floor as tremors racked her body. Her wolf howled inside her. Not in fear. But in triumph. Her spine arched. Her fingertips glowed. Moonfire danced along her skin in gold-red arcs. Seren wanted to scream. Wanted to run. Wanted to surrender. Kaelin's hands framed her face, grounding her through the storm. Look at me, he commanded softly. Her eyes, fever-bright, locked with his. I'm here, he whispered. I won't let you break. A sob escaped her. I'm scared. I know, he said gently. Every first shift is fear and pain and wonder wrapped together. But yours. He swept a thumb across her cheek, his voice dropping to reverent awe. Yours is sacred. Another wave of magic hit her, rolling her onto her side. Her bones vibrated violently, reshaping, cracking, reforming. Her former pack staggered backward. Kaelin, she choked out, it hurts. His aura expanded, warm and protective, wrapping around her like a barrier. I'm right here. Let it hurt. Let it change you. You are not alone. She screamed. Not in weakness. But in release. Light erupted outward from her body, rippling across the forest floor. Trees bent with the force. Wolves dropped to their knees. Her wolf surged forward. Now, it whispered. Seren felt it. The click of destiny. The tearing open of truth. The bloom of who she was always meant to be. Then. The world exploded in red and gold. Silence. Smoke drifted along the ground. Kaelin inhaled sharply. Where Seren had been writhing moments ago, a wolf now lay curled on the leaves. But not an ordinary wolf. Her fur shimmered like burnished copper beneath the red moon, streaked with gold that pulsed like living fire. Her eyes, still closed, glowed faintly beneath the lids. Kaelin dropped to one knee beside her, overwhelmed. "Goddess," he breathed. "She's magnificent." Her former alpha choked out, "Impossible, her kind died out centuries ago." Kaelin turned slowly, eyes deadly calm. "She is the first in centuries," he said. "And you threw her away." The alpha swallowed, trembling. Kaelin looked back down at Seren, at the slow rise and fall of her breathing, at the way the moon hovered as if watching its chosen child. He reached out and brushed a hand over her fur. "Seren," he whispered. "Little wolf, wake up." Her wolf stirred. Her eyelids fluttered. Then, for the first time, Seren opened her wolf eyes. They were not hazel. Not human. They were molten gold rimmed with red, glowing with ancient power. Kaelin sucked in a breath. Her old pack stumbled backward in terror. Red Moon awakened, someone whispered. "She'll destroy us all." Seren's gaze snapped toward them. And for the first time, she saw them through a wolf's eyes. Not as the family she once begged to accept her. Not as the authority she once feared. But as strangers who tried to bury her destiny. A low growl rumbled from her throat. Kaelin placed a steadying hand on her back. "Easy," he murmured. "Don't give them the satisfaction of fear or anger. You are above them now." Seren turned her head, meeting his eyes. In her gaze, he saw trust. In his, she saw pride. Then, her former alpha shouted, voice cracking, "You will come back with us, Seren Hale. You belong to Brightfen Pack." The trees trembled with Kaelin's fury. But Seren rose before he spoke. Her body elegant and powerful. Her stance unyielding. She stepped forward, paws silent on the leaves, tail lifted in authority that did not need teaching. Her eyes locked on her former alpha. And she shook her head once. No. The simple gesture sent the pack stumbling backward. Her wolf forms carried more command than their alpha ever could. Kaelin smiled, slow, sharp, reverent. "Beautiful," he whispered. Her alpha dropped to his knees, shaking. What are you?" Seren shifted. Not back into a girl. But into something in between. A shaping of light and shadow. Bones reforming with moonfire threading through each joint. When she stood again, human once more, she wore nothing but the red moon's glow and Kaelin's cloak, which he draped over her shoulders without looking away. Seren faced her old alpha. "I am what you feared," she said softly. "Not because I am cursed." The wind swelled behind her, carrying her voice across the trees. "But because I am free." Kaelin bowed his head, not in submission, but in respect. Seren stepped closer, her eyes burning with new strength. "Leave," she commanded. Wolves gasped. Her former alpha trembled. "You cannot order me." But Seren's aura surged. Raw, new, uncontrolled, yet far stronger than his. "Leave," she repeated. This time, the command carried the weight of the red moon itself. The pack scattered. Her former alpha fled. Not one looked back. Silence blanketed the clearing. Kaelin approached her slowly, as if she were divine. "Seren," he whispered, "do you know what you just did?" She shook her head, still trembling from the shift. "You commanded an alpha," he said. "Your first command," and he obeyed. Seren blinked. "I didn't mean." "You didn't have to," Kaelin murmured. He cupped her cheek gently. You are becoming what you were always destined to be. She swayed toward him. But exhaustion stole her strength, and she collapsed. Kaelin caught her instantly, lifting her into his arms. Rest, he whispered. I will carry you the rest of the way. As he walked into the blood-ridged mountains with her glowing form cradled against his chest, the red moon dimmed behind them. Not fading, but bowing to its chosen wolf. Kaelin carried Seren through the blood-ridged mountains as if she were something forged from starlight rather than flesh. She drifted in and out of consciousness, the afterburn of her first shift leaving her trembling and fever-warm. But even in her weakness, her wolf purred contentedly against his chest. Red Moon wolves didn't submit easily. They didn't trust easily. They didn't rest easily. But Seren slept in Kaelin's arms as if she'd been doing so all her life. Bloodridge wolves emerged from the shadows as he entered the mountain pass. Their eyes widened at the sight of Seren, wrapped in Kaelin's cloak, her skin faintly glowing with moonfire residue. Alpha, a warrior breathed. Is that? Yes, Kaelin said quietly. The prophecy stirs. Whispers rippled through the ranks. A red moon wolf. Impossible. She survived her first shift under the bloodlight. That power, look at her aura. Is she the one from the visions? Kaelin silenced them with a single look. But his wolf, ancient, fierce, paced inside him with something close to joy. She was alive. She was awakened. She was his. Not claimed. Not yet. But destined. He brought her into the mountain keep, through winding tunnels lit by glowing crystal veins. The room he chose for her was warm and spacious, with furs lining the bed and old runes inscribed in the stone. He lay her down gently. Her eyes fluttered. Kaelin, she whispered weakly. Where are we? Home, he murmured, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead. My home. Our home. Her breath caught. I didn't choose. You chose yourself, he said softly. And that choice brought you here. She looked around the room, disoriented. Her wolf stirred. Kaelin, did I hurt anyone? He shook his head, pride gleaming in his eyes. You didn't harm a single soul. You commanded. You rose. You shifted with power none of us have seen in centuries. Seren swallowed hard. I felt everything, she whispered. Like every bone was breaking and healing at the same time. Like the moon was inside me. It was, Kaelin said. It always has been. Tonight, it simply awakened. She shivered. Kaelin reached behind him, pulling a thick fur blanket and draping it around her shoulders. Your body is adjusting, he murmured. The first shift always burns. I thought I was dying, she confessed. Kaelin smiled faintly. You were being reborn. Her eyes softened. You stayed with me. I'll always stay with you, he said quietly. Her wolf howled softly inside her at those words, yearning, aching, stretching toward him. Seren's breath trembled. Kaelin, what happens now? He inhaled slowly. You learn, he said. You train. You uncover what your wolf can do. And us. Kaelin's jaw flexed. Us, he repeated. That depends on what you want. Her heart hammered. I don't know what I want, she whispered. His eyes softened. Then we go slow. I'll never take your choice away. Seren looked down at her trembling hands. I'm afraid. He reached out, taking one of her hands gently. Good, he said softly. Fear means you understand the weight of what's awakening in you. She looked up, startled. And if I can't handle it? Kaelin leaned in, brushing his forehead lightly against hers. Then I will handle it with you, he murmured. Every shift. Every rise. Every fall. Seren's breath caught. No one had ever carried her burdens before. No one had even tried. Yet this alpha, this feared wolf, this legend whispered to frighten pups, held her as if she were something sacred. She closed her eyes. I want to be strong, she whispered. You already are. I want to understand my wolf. I'll help you. I want. She hesitated. I want to know why fate chose you for me. Kaylin's smile was slow and devastating. Because, little wolf, he murmured, only someone strong enough to survive exile could stand beside me. Her cheeks warmed. You make me sound like a warrior. You are, he said. Tonight proved it. His thumb stroked the back of her hand, a motion so gentle it made her chest ache. No one else saw you, he whispered. But I did. I always have. Seren's brows furrowed. What do you mean? Kaylin exhaled, something vulnerable flickering across his expression. When I was 12, he said quietly, I dreamed of a girl running beneath a blood-colored moon. She called my name. I felt her fear. I felt her courage. Seren froze. In every dream, he continued, I reached for her, only for her to vanish before I could touch her. And each time, I woke with her name on my tongue. My name, she whispered. Yes, he said. Seren. Her breath trembled. You dreamed of me before you ever met me. Kaylin nodded. I thought the goddess was warning me, but she was preparing me. Seren felt tears prick her eyes. Kaylin. His aura softened, wrapping around her like warm fur. You are not cursed, he said. You were sent. She leaned into him, hesitantly at first, then fully, as exhaustion washed through her. Kaylin shifted so she lay against his chest, her head resting beneath his jaw. His wolf rumbled contentedly. You should sleep, he whispered. I'm scared I'll wake up and this will all be gone, she murmured. He lowered his lips to her forehead, breathing her in. It won't, he promised. As long as the red moon rises, you are mine to protect. Seren's breath steadied. Her eyelids drifted closed. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. Not because someone sheltered her, but because someone finally saw her worth. Her last thought before sleep claimed her. Maybe fate didn't make a mistake after all. Hours later, as the red moon dipped below the horizon, Kaylin looked down at the sleeping girl curled against him. Her hair glowed faintly. Her wolf breathed softly. Her presence filled the room like moonlight. His chest tightened, not with desire, but with awe. Corinne, he whispered in the old tongue. My red star mate. He brushed a gentle kiss to her forehead. Sleep, Seren. When you wake, the world will bow to the wolf they cast out. Under the moon that once marked her for exile, she rose reborn, claimed not by chains, but by destiny, and by the alpha who saw the queen hidden inside the outcast.